My most trying experience. I suppose that was my last day in the field. Uh, our unit was suddenly close to being overrun by, I think it was a regiment of Viet Cong. It was like an hour and a half down the road. It's also my last day, and so the helicopter came by to. I've got my duffel bag packed. I'm ready to go, and so the helicopter comes down at the landing zone to pick me up. And just as it swoops down, I'm running out there with my duffel bag. It starts taking fire. Bam, 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 and it swoops back up in the air. It says, "This is too hot. We'll come back tomorrow." No, no, no. Give it one more try, please, please, one more try. All right, one more try, but if it's too hot, whatever, we're gonna have to come back tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay, okay. So came back the second whatever, and before it even touches the ground, I've thrown my duffel bag, on the floor of the chopper. I've grabbed onto to the edge of the helicopter. They pull me on board, and we take off. I said, "Oh God, I left a godforsaken place." And so maybe 15, 20 minutes later, we're back at the headquarters. And so I have um, taken a shower, and I'm ready for some lunch. And so I walk into the Navy Officers Club, and I'm an Army guy, but I look like death warmed over. So everyone's dressed in their formal attire, which is typical for a Navy club. I walk in there with a 45 caliber submachine gun. It's known as a grease gun. I've got grenades dangling from my web belt. I've got a machete, for self-defense, as well as cutting through the jungle. And uh, I look like maybe somebody that you wouldn't want to have in the Navy club, but I'm obviously an officer. So what are they going to do? So they say to me, "Oh, and I'm wearing a Vietnamese beret, and almost a Vietnamese uniform, rather than an American uniform, which is another story." Anyway, uh, the the hat check guy says, "Sir, can I take those weapons off you that look kind of heavy?" Which was very diplomatic, how that was stated. And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I gave it to him. I come up to the bar, I'm sitting down there, and this Navy guy next to me, he says, "Oh, so you're Army?" And I says, "Yes." "Did you hear what happened at Dien Bien just a few minutes ago?" And Dien Bien was where I was at, that little outpost. And I said, "No." And he says, it was overrun by the Viet Cong. Everybody died." And I looked at him, speechless in shock, because I should have died. Except for that helicopter making that second pass, I would have been dead also. And I was absolutely speechless. But then, to show you how desensitized I had become, it's like I had no feeling almost like for them. It's like, well, I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I made it out of there. I I didn't share the kind of sadness that would have been normal under most circumstances. So that's my last episode that I had. Okay. What was my most exhilarating moment in Vietnam? A very interesting question, and um, one only one that was absolutely remarkable. Mm, in Vietnam, I met a lot of people who were, I thought, far superior to me in their soldiering skills, who died within a day, 3 days, a week, a month. Uh, and that kind of baffled me. You would think that they would have, lived forever, been a general, a colonel, whatever, and here they were cut down in the prime of their life. Here myself, that I thought my soldiering skills were not as good, I had somehow survived. And so there I was, within a few moments, going to be getting in the airplane and actually going home in no wounds, no Purple Hearts, infantry officer coming back in one piece. it was a miracle. And so we all got into the airplane, and the uh, pilot said through the intercom, we'll be leaving in 5 minutes. And so we kind of settled down, and as the engine started to roar and the airplane started to take off down the runway, there was a deathly silence. No one said a word. Everyone was extremely quiet. And for me, it's kind of like I'm being extremely quiet because I don't want to bring any bad luck to this moment of our absolute, possibly being able to get out alive. I don't want to hex what's going on now. I don't want to draw any attention to the Viet Cong, or drop salt, or have a black cat, walk in front of me. I'm just going to be under the radar and hope I just get out of this damn country, And so as the airplane proceeded to go down the runway, suddenly the airplane was airborne. At that moment, everyone in the airplane burst out in applause that we, the lucky ones, had survived. Though we left other people there on the ground who would be fighting for their lives every day, but we had survived. We were going home, and it was such an exhilarating experience. We were coming back to our families.